Students for Justice in Palestine, or SJP, is a student-led organization. They advocate for Palestinian rights and are active on many college campuses. Recently, they announced a nationwide Day of Action. This event aims to raise awareness about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. SJP wants to mobilize students and is calling for an arms embargo on Israel. They also want universities to divest from certain companies, which are seen as profiting from the conflict. SJP's Day of Action has sparked much debate and discussion across the country. This nationwide event is not just about protests, it is about education. SJP chapters are planning teach-ins and lectures to educate students about the complexities of the conflict. They plan to discuss the humanitarian situation in Palestine and aim to provide historical context. This Day of Action reflects a growing movement. Student activism is on the rise and students are becoming more vocal about social justice issues. The Day of Action promises to be impactful. SJP chapters across the country are organizing rallies, marches, and demonstrations. These events will take place on college campuses and in public spaces. Students will voice their solidarity with Palestine, calling for an end to the occupation and demanding justice for the Palestinian people.
Education is also a key component. SJP chapters are organizing teach-ins and workshops. They will invite speakers with diverse perspectives to foster dialogue and understanding. These events will cover a wide range of topics, including international law, human rights, and the role of media.
The Day of Action's main goal is clear. SJP wants to pressure the U.S. government by demanding an arms embargo on Israel. They are also urging universities to divest from certain companies accused of profiting from the occupation. The announcement of the Day of Action has elicited diverse reactions. On many campuses, students and faculty have expressed their support. They see it as a necessary step and believe it will bring attention to a pressing issue. They are joining SJP in their call for justice and peace.
However, there are also concerns. Some students and faculty members are worried that the Day of Action could fuel anti-Semitism. They argue that calls for boycotts and divestment could create a hostile environment towards Jewish students. These concerns highlight the sensitivity surrounding this issue.
Another concern is the potential for restricted dialogue. Some worry that the Day of Action might discourage open discussion, fearing that opposing viewpoints could be silenced. They emphasize the importance of open and respectful debate, noting that universities should be places where different perspectives can be heard. Section 4. Experts weigh in, significance and implications.
Political analyst Dr. Sarah Jones believes that the Day of Action reflects a larger trend. She points to rising global awareness about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Social media plays a role. It amplifies voices that were previously marginalized. Dr. Jones argues that this event could put pressure on policymakers. They may need to reassess their stance on the conflict.
Dr. David Miller, a professor of peace studies, offers a different perspective. He stresses the importance of dialogue and understanding. Dr. Miller acknowledges the emotional weight of the conflict. He cautions against oversimplification. He argues that true progress requires empathy and a willingness to listen.
Both experts agree on one thing: the Day of Action is significant. It highlights the role of universities. They are places for critical thinking and social change. It also underscores the power of student activism. Students can be agents of change. They can shape public discourse. Section 5. The long road ahead, dialogue and understanding. The Day of Action is just one day. The journey towards justice and peace is long. It requires ongoing dialogue and understanding. It is crucial to create spaces for open and respectful conversations. Universities have a responsibility. They must foster an environment where diverse perspectives can coexist. It is also essential to address concerns about anti-Semitism. It is unacceptable to target individuals or groups based on their religion or origin. Universities have a duty to combat all forms of discrimination. This includes anti-Semitism. They must ensure the safety and well-being of all their students. Understanding the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is vital. It is a multi-layered issue. It is rooted in history, politics, and identity. There are no easy solutions. True progress requires a nuanced understanding. It requires empathy for all parties involved. Section 6. The future of student activism. The Day of Action, Organized by Students for Justice in Palestine has the potential to be a watershed moment. It highlights the growing power of student activism. Students are no longer passive bystanders. They are actively engaging in social and political issues. They are demanding change. Universities play a crucial role in this movement. They are not just institutions of learning. They are also spaces where ideas are debated, challenged, and reshaped. Universities have a responsibility to foster critical thinking. They should encourage students to become informed and engaged citizens. The Day of Action reminds us that the pursuit of justice and peace is an ongoing process. It requires constant effort, dialogue, and a willingness to listen. It is a journey that demands courage, empathy, and a commitment to building bridges of understanding.